Hey everybody, this is TJR,
And this is Superfan.
and we're just hanging out with the little guy who's got a friend with him, I guess.
Well, he's got his shrunk down self with him.
Oh, okay, that's
His mini me.
his mini self. Um, Anyways, though, as curious as I'm sure as you all are about him and his little buddy, um, I want to talk about Roger Waters' remake of Dark Side of the Moon. This will be my second video about it prior to the release, which comes out in about a week, roughly, or a week or so. Um,
You would know better than I.
I guess that's true. Um, just a few days ago, Roger Waters released two new tracks from this remake. He released Speak to Me and Breathe, which are the two opening tracks of the album. And initially, he released the first advanced track was Money. And I listened to it. I made a video where I reacted to it. And I said, if this had been anybody else, I would have thought, oh, cool. Interesting way to rethink and re-envision this. And interesting. But I said, this is Roger Waters, and I kind of expected more. I also said that I didn't care for the whole speaking as singing vocals that he did. I've never, ever liked that. And I said that if he's going to do this for the rest of the album, I'm probably not going to be that interested. And this, even before he released this track, this whole idea that he was going to remake Dark Side of the Moon has been met with a lot of controversy, and it's not undeserved. This is one of the greatest albums ever made, one of the greatest rock albums ever. And trying to remake this just feels like so much hubris, especially given all the infighting between him and the other band members, all the politics and the bickering, all of his words about how I'm the only one who knows how to write music and they don't. It really comes off as a man who doesn't want to share the credit, who doesn't want to acknowledge that, well, yes, Roger Waters, great songwriter, although he didn't write every track on that album. But while he is an amazing songwriter, while he is fantastic conceptually when it comes to music, that the other musicians bring something to the table too. And I've read more than my share of comments of people saying this. And while I don't know any of these people, it seems obvious to me as an outsider that he doesn't seem to want to acknowledge what the other players contributed to this landmark album. And that has kind of motivated, to a certain extent, why he's doing this. So I was like, in spite of all this, I tried to be very open when I listened to his remake of Money. And I was kind of very much on the fence with it. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. But I thought if he keeps doing this spoken word thing, I'm just not going to be interested. I just, not going to be all that excited about it. So he released a second track not too long ago. He did a remake of Time. And again, he did the spoken word thing. And I didn't react to it. Part of it was because I didn't have time, pun intended. But also, I became just less enthused when I heard this. I thought, okay, more of the talking in place of singing. And I just was like, okay, I've never cared for this style, and I'm probably not the right person to comment on it for that reason, because it's hard for me to look at it objectively, because I've never cared. That's why I've never. Who's that one guy that I thought that he sounded like? That one music artist. I can't think of his name now. Yeah, well, but all he does is talk. He never sings. He just talks. Some people think he's this great song. Think he's a great songwriter, but it's very hard for me to even listen to him because he doesn't sing. He just talks his lyrics. Maybe you.
Hallelujah.
Well, Leonard Cohen's that way too. Yeah, Leonard Cohen's that way too. But there's another one out there. He's been around for a while as well, and I can't think of his name. It just totally slipped out of my head. He dated Ricky Lee Jones for a while.
Lou Reed.
No, not Lou Reed. Nope. You know, when Lou Reed talks, it's really great. He's one of the few ones that I think can get away with it.
Well, Leonard Cohen can too.
You know, yeah, I'll admit I listened to Leonard Cohen's last album, and I actually could appreciate what he was doing. I still don't like the talking part. I don't, I'll be honest, if I have to hear a version of Hallelujah, it's going to be Jeff Buckley, not Leonard Cohen. It's a great song. He's a genius for writing it, but Jeff Buckley's version to me is 100 times better. But I will always credit Leonard Cohen for writing it. And I can't think of this other artist's name. For whatever reason, it's just walked right out of my head. But I remember he dated Rickie Lee Jones for a while. That's probably what I best know him for, since she's one of my favorite artists. But at any rate, though, I heard this rendition of Time. I thought, okay, I'm even less excited now. If I had any excitement, I'm even less excited. And I didn't even comment on it because I just didn't have any enthusiasm for it. So I'm flipping through YouTube yesterday, and I see on Michael Nolan's channel, Michael Nolan and the Bottom Line, really good YouTube channel, good guy. But he was probably a lot less enthusiastic than me about the remakes of Money and Time, to say the least. His reactions were probably a lot less tempered than mine. But he talked about these two new tracks, which I had no idea had even been released. That's how little enthusiasm I now had. I wasn't even keeping track if any new tracks had been released. But he reacted to them, and I thought, oh, okay, there's some new tracks. So I figured I'd listen to what he has to say. Figured he'd probably dislike these just as much. But instead, he had said, this time it actually works. And he mentioned that listening to this kind of changed his perspective, at least for these two tracks. And I thought, wow, really? Okay, I need to go hear these. And thank you, Michael, for posting your video, because because of you, I went and checked this out. I listened to it, and during the opening track, which is Speak to Me, which is not really so much a song as it is a piece of sound design, he replaces a lot of that with spoken word again, but he opens with the line, as we hear the heart beating, the memories of a man in his old age are the deeds of the man in his prime. And all of a sudden, the light bulb went off in my head. My entire perspective was changed. The rest of the lyrics go on, shuffle in the gloom of the sick room and talk to yourself as you die. For life is a short one moment, and death is a cold, long rest. Suddenly now the heartbeat that you hear at the beginning of Speak to Me, which I've heard 1,000 times listening to the original album, is the heartbeat of a man at the end of his life. And suddenly, the song Breathe takes on a whole new meaning that it never did before. So I made a playlist. I took those two tracks, and then I added the second two, Time and Money, and put them in order, and listened to them again. And I felt, that Breathe, I thought, okay, very ambient chill. And I thought to myself, I feel differently about this now. I felt differently about Time, and I felt differently about Money.
I always feel different about Time and Money. There's never enough of either. That's why you pay me the big bucks.
Talk about breaking my reverie. That was good. I should have seen that coming a mile off. I walked into that one. But suddenly, I was like, okay, this is an ambient chill version of Dark Side of the Moon. Because, from these four tracks, I can kind of see how the rest of it's going to go. And just like Michael said on his channel, this in no way replaces the original.
It's a companion piece.
But I think I can now. I haven't heard the whole album yet. I'm reserving, and I kept saying, I'll wait till I hear the whole thing. And I figured when it comes out, I would listen to it, but I wasn't enthused. I was not enthused. I will say now that I am more curious than I was previously. And yeah, this would in no way replace the original album, but I can see it being exactly what you just suggested, a companion piece. I mean, yes, we always knew it would be an alternate version. And even back when I listened to Money, I said, well, at least he's not just completely remaking it or trying to make it sound exactly like the original record. At least he's doing something different, but I wasn't caring for his spoken word. And I thought his lyrical, the new lyrics he wrote that went over the instrumental sections, you know, the saxophone solo, David Gilmour's guitar solos, I felt like that was just kind of rambling. That didn't really make any sense. But the spoken word at the beginning of Breathe and then on Speak to Me, and then even in Breathe, suddenly didn't feel like rambling anymore. And I kind of wonder now if the spoken word sections that are new, that are on in the track Time and the track Money, if they will make more sense when I hear it in context with the rest of the album. And in fact, I can honestly say that I appreciated those two earlier pre-release tracks now that I hear them in context with the opening, that I musically appreciate them more. And I feel like his ramblings, what I refer to as his ramblings, might make more sense once I hear it all together, and that I might feel differently about it. So I kind of have turned the corner on this a bit. I was kind of, after hearing the track, his remake of Time, I was kind of less than enthused, basically. I knew I'd still listen to it because I felt like I had to, but I kind of agreed with some of the commenters on this channel who said things like, it'll be forgotten in a week from now. Once the novelty is done, it'll just be kind of like, who cares? But I actually feel like maybe now there might be something to all this. Do I still think he's kind of doing this as maybe a big FU to the other players in Pink Floyd?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I think there's a strong indication of that. But could he actually create something worthwhile out of that? Possibly, yeah. It's not impossible. And I feel, like I said, like this might actually be an interesting listen now. And maybe in time, more enjoyable of a listen. Not a replacement, of course, but just a companion piece, as you just said, which thank you for that. I like that. I like how you said that. You complete me. She's giving me a face. But anyways, though, yeah. So I just wanted to share that. And Michael Nolan, thank you for your video. That really, without seeing your reaction, I would not have even probably bothered. I would have waited till the album come out. But then I still might have had the same revelation. But, you know, now I'm actually kind of looking forward to next month when it releases. But yeah, so I just thought I'd share that. Everybody, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've heard these. Do you feel differently than you did before, or were you on board right from the beginning? Let me know your thoughts. And as always, if you like these videos, be sure to hit like. It helps a great deal. If you just click like and it doesn't cost you anything, helps this channel grow. Hit subscribe. I'd love it if you hit subscribe and hit the bell notification icon so you never miss a video. And as always, thank you, patron supporters, for all that you do.
You're fierce and mighty.
Patron supporters do receive exclusive weekly videos not available on this channel. And looking forward to hearing what you have to say. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.